Hi, Freedom Ticket students. My name is Jana, and I am the owner of YLT Translations. We are an Amazon-dedicated translation agency, and we help 7 to 8 figure sellers expand internationally and make more sales and profits. Today, I'm going to be speaking about how to improve your international listing optimization and how to get the best out of it. There are a lot of sellers that don't see the potential in international markets because they have never tried. And I always like to talk about this topic because I see it as a way to get ahead of your competitors and actually to boost your sales. So today I'll be speaking about definitely translations, worldwide marketplaces, localization and how to get to know your audience, and I'll be explaining how we use Helium 10 to get keywords and to get some really cool Excel formulas based on the information we get from Helium 10. So basically, when selling on international markets, it's all about clearly written descriptions. If somebody does not understand what they're buying, they're not going to definitely buy it or use it, especially when it comes to beauty products, baby products, or anything else which is very important and ingredient sensitive for people who are buying that. To illustrate this, I always like to use the so-called French mom test I invented. It's an example where I use French mom, she's pregnant, and she wants to look for diapers for her baby. In the search field, we can see here on the slides, which are going to be available, of course, for you to check out later, there are 4 different diaper bags on the French marketplace. One of these bags is written in English. And when somebody goes into this bag, they see an English description. And this English description is something that people are not definitely sure what it actually means. If it's going to be safe for the baby, what are the ingredients, like what is the material, how is this bag made of? Is this going to be safe for their babies, and how are they actually going to transport anything, sorts of diapers, sizes, everything. So people are not going to be absolutely sure what they're buying, and they're not going to be clear about, how to define this product. And according to the Harvard Business Review, actually, 56.2% of those who are surveyed say that the language was more important than the price when making a purchase decision online. And this example with the diaper bag exactly shows, actually confirms this theory. Because if you take a look at the slide, you can see that the diaper bag written in English is the cheapest one, but it actually has only 4 reviews, where all other bags written in French have many more reviews than this first bag here, which means that they're more likely to be purchased. When it comes to translators that you use, you should definitely know who you're hiring. Of course, you can hire translators from Fiverr. You can hire translators that are native translators and are very experienced in marketing translations. But definitely, when it comes to Amazon listings, you have to hire someone who's knows what they're doing. They have to know what's the length of the title when it comes to product listing, bullets, and everything like it. So, for instance, you're not going to hire Kevin from Liverpool, who's studying in Italy and loves Italian language, because what does Kevin know about products? What does he know about the algorithm? What does he know about how to make sales and how to use the keywords? And very important thing is that this guy, Kevin, who might do your Italian listing, he would definitely fail the French mom test, because this French mom, searching for listing, your listing translated by Kevin will not show up, because your listing will be missing crucial information and crucial keywords we want to rank for. For instance, if you have, let's say you're selling a leather cashmere gloves, the translation that you would do in German, for instance, would, regular German translation, look something like this, which you can also see on the slide. But the Amazon listing has a lot of different keywords. It doesn't have to be absolutely the same as it is in the original language. Of course, you should keep the basic information, but you should do a better research on your keywords. Definitely, when you compare it to the Spanish translation on the next slide, you can see that the titles are completely different. We're using the German keywords and the Spanish keywords, which actually differentiates these two listings, definitely. Very often question I get is, could you use Google Translate? My answer is definitely no, because a lot of people, what they want to do is they just take English keywords and they translate them to Google Translate. And this is absolutely wrong, because you really have to do the keyword research for each market separately. Luckily enough, Helium 10 offers all of those European marketplaces, and you can really do really good and solid keyword research for each marketplace separately. What happens with Google Translate is that you don't have to get the same long tail keyword combination as you would have on the US market for the German market, for instance. What happened to us, what we found as a good example, is if you use a sweetened milk can, for instance, and you want to find the keywords for the Spanish marketplace, if you would put this in Google Translate, you would get the word la leche azucarada puede. My Spanish is horrible, but I hope that you can understand what my point is. Basically, if you would put the Spanish translation of the Google Translate, the keyword here, you would get something which has nothing to do with this condensed milk. You would get some really non-related product, and you would really want to stay out of this keyword, which is basically not relevant to the product you're selling. And the actual keyword you're looking for is leche condensada. So nothing close to the keyword that Google Translate suggested, basically. And also the case number 2 is when you use Google Translate and you actually want to look for a faucet on the Italian marketplace, where Google Translate actually translates it as rubinetto, which is actually a faucet. So if you ask an Italian native translator, he would say well, it's rubinetto, and they will be perfectly fine for your search term. But if you use the rubinetto on your Italian market, you're not going to get anything close to faucet. Faucet starts at page number 3, and you don't want to be basically indexed for page number 3, because you know what they say, where to hide a dead body, it's on page number 2. So page number 3 will be even worse for you. Basically, the name we were looking for is Mescolatore Lavello. So basically, you really have to check what are the terms that Amazon uses for the products, and what are the terms that other people who are translators would use for this product. Definitely something that you will have to check with people who know what they're doing when it comes to Amazon. Marketplaces, which we also do, and what I would also recommend in Europe, definitely Germany, and I like to call it a 5-star marketplace, because all other countries which don't have an Amazon marketplace, they are basically transferred to buy stuff from the German Amazon. That's why you get a lot more buyers than only the ones who actually sell something and buy something from Germany. And it's often a misconception that the UK market is the biggest market in Europe, but it's actually Germany. Basically the same, the biggest market actually after Germany, or maybe the same size, is the Japanese marketplace, which is quite specific, and you really have to have a good product for the marketplace in order to start selling there. There are some really weird products that are successful in the Japanese market, which are not successful anywhere else, but when it comes to Germany and the UK market, basically you can sell everything that you're selling in the States. It will be quite as successful as it is. For instance, the German market really loves kids products. We've done tons and tons of products, and the category is something which is really successful. So this is something that you guys might think about selling over there. Also, when it comes to selling the products, you always have to know your audience. I always like to take an example of Dolce & Gabbana, which ended in a big disaster for the Chinese e-commerce. So basically what they did is they wanted to make this promotional video where they used an Asian girl eating pizza with her chopsticks. So I don't know why they thought this was an amazing idea, but it ended with a big disaster and a big finance loss for Dolce & Gabbana. Their merchandise was basically banned on the Chinese e-commerce. They lost tons of money, and the damage has been unrepairable, basically. Another really good example was, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know that Kim Kardashian launched the Skims, her basically underwear tape that you put instead of your laundry. And basically she named the Skims first Kimono. which sounded like a really cool idea for a name. But the Japanese government and their Tokyo mayor, they got really upset about this, and they just decided that they're gonna protest about it and not let her launch her underwear collection with this name. So this was stopped in time, and no damage was done. But basically, she did a very, very poor job when it comes to market research, which should actually really do a good job on. And the next example for car lovers is Hyundai Kona. So Kona, being on a Hawaiian island, it's a really cool name when it comes to the States, right? But when it comes to the Portuguese market, Kona is a very, it's a really bad name for a female organ, and people did not want to drive a car named Hyundai Kona over there. So this also ended in a huge loss for Hyundai, and they just named it Hyundai Kauai. So they just picked another Hawaiian island where they didn't have any problems with that being translated to Portuguese language. What does this have to do with your Amazon products? Well, it has to do a lot with your Amazon products, because we've had one seller who was selling a shampoo on the UK marketplace, and of course there are a lot of ingredients in this shampoo. All of them were, available to be bought in regular stores in the UK, but when he started selling this product on the German marketplace, one of these ingredients was actually a prescription drug, and his product got banned. So it really depends from market to other marketplace what sort of products you sell and what sort of audience you want to target. So you really want to make a good start without having a lot of typical mistakes that a lot of sellers do. When it comes to localization, I really would like to take an example of the American versus the German marketplace, because a lot of the sellers who've sold a lot of products on the US market, they just want to start international markets because they might have hit the wall, like the US market. There's nothing more that they could do. They cannot get ahead of their competitors, but by expanding to international markets elsewhere, they can definitely get that edge they want, the motivation, and they can get better than their competitors. I don't know how many of you have even typed their product on the German marketplace or any other European marketplace to see how many competitors you have. If you haven't done that, please do it today, because you don't know how much you're gonna save on the PPC costs maybe, and also maybe you have only 2 competitors, or maybe you're even gonna be the first one on the marketplace who's selling that type of product. But you have to be very, very careful when it comes to other marketplaces, because not all US style and the language that people use in listings is going to be compatible with the new marketplace. For instance, one of my favorite examples for a listing is is an espresso cup, and in the listing in the US market says cool, cooler, coolest for the product, and the German marketplace, it's translated as elegant and stylish. So the German marketplace does not want this emotional outburst you can have in your listings. They want to be pushed into buying the product. They don't want to get all emotional. They don't want to be pushed into buying the product where you say buy our product is amazing, our product is the best product you'll get. They will be the judge of that, and it's very important to have a clean and very properly written listing where you're going to explain to people what is your product, how to use it, what are your best features, and what are the ingredients or materials that the products are made of. They want to have everything clearly written and to understand why they are buying your product and to understand how to use it clearly. Also in this listing, for instance, the third bullet says, own the enigma, just like that old ship in a bottle your granny had, and so on. As well as the German listing says only thermo-isolated glass. This is everything that the German listing says. So it's quite different style, and it's a quite different approach to the client. Definitely if you're selling teddy bears or kids' toys, of course you're going to have this little different feel to the whole listing, but it's definitely not going to be the same salesy language that works on the US market. So you have to definitely pay attention to that. So some of the words you should avoid are get it now, adorable, super cute, kids products, pamper yourself in luxury with the softest bath towels in the world, They don't want to be for you to suggest them what to do and what to buy. And also a very interesting fact is that the German market has the most refunds from all of the world markets out there. So this is how Germans want to do their business. Very clean, straightforward, and they really want to understand what they're buying. Otherwise, they're more than happy to give you a refund, which you of course don't want. Let's talk a little bit about keywords. So I already mentioned that you should definitely not translate the keywords just by using Google Translate. You should definitely not translate your keywords using native translators. You should definitely use some of the tools and do a proper keyword research by a person who speaks the language. So definitely, I would not tell you to try to do it yourself if you don't know the language, because sometimes, as you saw, Google Translate can be very deceiving. What we like to use is Helium 10, of course, which gives us the best results we do get for the European marketplaces. We also like to use AMZ Suggestion Expander. It's a really cool Chrome add-on, and it doesn't give you search volume results, but it gets really good keyword combinations. So we really want to combine that sometimes with Helium 10. Sometimes if you don't have a lot of competitors, your results are not going to get better, no matter how many different choices of keywords you try to look for. And then AMZ Suggestion kind of is really complementary with the Helium 10 results. Basically, well, a small hack when talking about Helium 10 and the German language, when you have Helium 10 and when you want to do the magnet research, usually the word count says number 2. This is really wrong when you're having German language, because German language uses one word, one really, really long compound word to express even a whole sentence or maybe like a couple of phrases. So basically, if you put word count number 2 here, you're going to miss out on all of those really long compound words, which could have higher search volume than the ones that are going to be long tail keywords made of 2 or 3 different keywords. So basically, it's very important for you to put the word count as 1 when searching something for the German marketplace, not to miss on some very highly relevant keywords. And a small hack when it comes to French language, I'm sure a lot of you know that how the French keywords and French language have the little accents over letters, and it's grammatically incorrect to not write these accents over letters. But the thing is, you can use actually keywords. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of really good keywords without these accents, but if you capitalize these letters in French, you will be able to use these keywords absolutely properly. Like for instance, it's a good idea to start the bullets with the capital letters, for instance, like maybe to write features in capital letters and then to explain them shortly in every bullet. Of course, don't write a novel in a bullet, because nobody wants to read that. People just want to hear the basic features and a little bit short explanation on how to do them. What we like to do when doing the research and reverse ASINs on the competitors, we like to use the information from Helium 10 and to put it in Excel. And then with the help of some Excel formulas, we really like to find some golden nugget keywords that your competitors might not be using. So how do we do that? Basically, here on the slides, you can see that you pick your competitors. Then you go to the Cerebro. Basically, you should choose about 7 to 8 competitors, and then after that, you just you have to choose in advanced filters that your ranking competitors are, let's say, number 3. So you get at least 3 ranking competitors on your first ASIN page. The first formula, which you can see here on in the tab here, you can actually see how many of your competitors are actually ranking for some keyword. The trick is that you can find some keywords which none of your competitors are ranked for, which have very high search volume, and then you can put those in the title or in the bullets. Sometimes it's not a good idea if you find the keyword which all of your 7 or 8 competitors are ranked for. Maybe sometimes it's not a good idea for you to also be ranked for this keyword, but to also find something which your competitors are not ranked for. Maybe like something which like 2 or 3 competitors use the same keyword, or if possible, none. And here on the slide, there's a really step-to-step instruction how to use the keyword and how to actually find the results. So it's also going to be available for the first page ASINs, and you can sort results according to the search volume. And the Excel formula number 2 can show us exactly your competitor's ASIN and for how many keywords they are ranked for from your top, let's say, 100 keywords list. So the Excel formula is here, and basically by using this number you get here, let's say for this one competitor we get 279, and you basically can turn that into percentage. So you can actually see how many of these 100 keywords, let's say, is being actually indexed in this listing. So let's say this listing here is 71% of this keywords that's ranking for. This other one is 77%. So these are some competitors that you can actually use to maybe copy or to just see how the keywords that they are doing that you want to also be indexed for. And basically here's the formula. How do you do it? So it's the first line cell, and then you divide it by the second line, that is the number of the columns. So this is basically what you would get, and this is how you can actually save a lot of money on not using any other tools which give you information about the competitors. So basically all you need is Helium 10 and plus some like really cool 2 Excel formulas to find out so many information about your competitors, to get better keywords and to find something none of them have. And that's it. This is a short explanation on how to optimize your listings the best way and how to skip some of the mistakes most people are making.